So why help Eric?
From someone who might not understand him. And I think it just takes him a little time to realize, okay, yeah, this guy knows what's going on. Okay, I'll tell you what I think people at first think is that he's not mentally, with it.
Here.
Hey. Hey. God.
So when he tells me something, I can recognize the word because I've either heard it before or I've heard him reference something before. People who come across Eric for the first time aren't lucky enough to have like this whole framework of knowing his history. So they're really going to struggle to understand him.
One day.
I'm weird. I'm baby.
I was a baby.
Baby. War. War. A war. War. Uh-huh. War. Good. My leg. Good.
Your legs were good
Yeah.
when you were a baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is their family history like? Where did they start?
So this family came from the Central African Republic. The mommy's name is Nestorine, and this is Carol. And they came here about 2 years ago.
Okay.
They left because of a war, and they were in a refugee camp for about 5 years.
And what is Eric? What does Eric have?
Eric was born on the way to the camps, so Mom had to flee her home. She was pregnant with Eric, and he was born on the road. Unfortunately, when he was born, it was under a lot of duress, and he suffered some brain damage. And he now has cerebral palsy. He's very smart. His cognition is normal, but his body, he can't control his muscle movements.
Okay.
Hey, Eric. Eric,
What?
have you ever used a computer at school?
No.
No?
No.
No good? Do you want to? Think Will could teach you how to use a computer?
Yeah.
Yeah? What would you do with a computer? What would you do?
What?
Write?
I
You would write?
yeah.
What would you write?
I did.
A story?
I
Would you write your name? Would you write a story? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come back, come back, come back. Okay, we better go get that boy. I.
The biggest frustration for Eric is to accurately point to something on the computer with his finger or with his hand so that he can change the page, point to the item, point to the word. He can do it, but it takes a really long time. It's inaccurate, so sometimes he hits the wrong word, then he has to go and erase it. Imagine if you were trying to write a paper and every few words you wrote the wrong word and you had to go back. So that's one thing. The second thing is his toes do help him. He's more accurate with his toes, but he's told me that's not really going to work in the real world. It's to have your shoes off and working a communication device sitting on the floor. It's just not going to work for him.
Why?
This is too much stuff. I need to put some record.
Why is it too much stuff?
It should be clean, free of debris. Is that working properly?
Well, we didn't think it was cold enough.
You have to clean.
By the way, we're not planning on doing any legal things. We're just trying to get help.
But
Yeah, what we are explaining.
I explained because I want to make you say it's not freezing, cool enough.
Okay.
Now, you see all this here? The way I test your food, when you touch your food, you see how hard that food is? Work hard. You tell me,
Why am I taking a picture of my food?
because we want you to do something different, because you keep telling me that you need to switch out the bags. What I tell people, they go buy these $1 containers and separate the meats and put them into containers. It's better for you, healthier for you, because when you take out that meat, sometimes it all comes together. Then you defrost it. Then you put it back. Not healthy. But if you separate them into little packages, into
I'll
freezer
take
bags,
one.
when you take a portion out, you take a portion out, or 3 bags out, portion for your family. It's healthier. If you take a big bag out and defrost it like this fish, you're not going to eat all that fish one time, right? But you're going to have to defrost it to separate that fish. I'm telling you for your health, Listerine, trust me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you separate them and put them up 2 in a bag.
Okay.
2 in a bag.
We'll
It's
work on
easier.
it.
All the way to the back wall, which means cover your nose and mouth like this. What happened to you?
Yeah, great.
Ah, that's what you've done to the fridge. Fridge cannot breathe.
So it's too full, is what you're
I'm
saying.
saying it's too full.
So, okay.
So limit so she can live healthy.
Okay.
That's housekeeping is poor, and it's her responsibility
Okay.
to keep her house clean.
Okay.
That's in the lease, you know that, right?
See,
Because county can come
Normally what I
and
do,
give a citation.
let me tell you what I normally do. I know. Sometimes I come in and see what they
Yeah,
do.
because you have a handicapped child,
I clean everything.
county
I
will
clean
come,
for
they
them.
give a citation, not you.
And then
We pay the fine. That's why I'm taking
But they've
pictures.
got to change.
Okay, because we don't want to
Feel
pay
this.
fine.
It's not cold, that is. No, you don't have to go away.
Don't need
Put the back
these.
again, 'cause it's more
This
sensitive
is bad here.
to temperature change.
You
See
just
how cold that
throw
is?
this.
So she's
My
got
family
to
told me,
change the bags.
Throw that. You have to clean this. No.
No,
you
because
can't.
it was being here before for the fridge. And I said, oh, you know exactly what's wrong. And I tried to tell her, you need to separate your fridge. Again, in here to circulate. There's a fan in the bottom. You need to circulate around the fridge.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
We always say, and blocking the air.
Okay, that's why you come in.
Now,
Yeah. I will see for myself.
I tried to explain for you. I tried to explain.
How about
Thank you for, would you be able to change the sign on the?
Not change, we're gonna secure it.
But you can't see the numbers.
We got some
No,
paint.
that's how I'm going to change it.
Paint.
Is it not, okay, you go, listen, how many times have I told you can't drive?
Well, he just said it's okay because she has.
Right, we give you too much, toilet. Let me check the toilet seat. On the bedroom door.
Thank you.
Did we just get berated?
Oh, yeah. She's a month.
Month?
So let's say someone is born into a family that has a lot of resources. Let's say they have really good health insurance. Let's say they have extra money to buy, equipment. Let's say they have a car because they can drive. Eric's situation is different because he's been displaced from his African home. His mother is in a place where her community resources cannot be tapped into. They're somewhere else. She is sort of reinventing her world and who she depends on, and America is very different than Africa. The systems in America are more complex. We don't take care of each other the same way. We don't look after each other's children or give each other rides very often. We're more structured and much more of a pay-for-service kind of mentality. Also, we have very high standards. We want people to sit in wheelchairs. We want them to have powered mobility. We want them to have braces and medications, whereas in Africa there might have been less expectations for medical care, but maybe just as rich of a existence because people may have been in his life more than social service agencies.
So why help Eric?
It's funny, I just kind of wrote a little statement about that of, who deserves help, who deserves to come to America and who deserves to be left behind. These are really, really hard moral questions. Why help one African boy to move up the ladder a little bit or be more comfortable? And honestly, the one thing I say to myself all the time is Eric is me, Eric is you, Eric is anyone that gets displaced, that might be in a war, that might be in a hurricane, that might be in a flood, where they lose everything and they have to start over again. What would we want for ourselves, and how would we want to be cared for? So I don't try to make an example of myself, but what I realize is that when people see me helping, they want to help too. Because I'm not being paid, I'm a volunteer, I'm a friend. And it inspires people to do more.